In the ancient days, before the great flood, there was a man who walked so closely with God that he never tasted death. His name was Enoch, a mysterious figure shrouded in divine secrets and heavenly visions. Unlike others of his time, he could not simply live and die. He was taken. What did he see? What was revealed to him? This is the story of Enoch, the man who walked with God and disappeared into the heavens. When I was 365 years old, on the solemn day of the first month, I found myself alone in my house. My heart was heavy with grief, and I wept, my eyes filled with sorrow. As I rested in my bed, drifting into sleep, a vision unfolded before me. Two men, greater than any I had ever seen on earth, appeared before me. Their faces were radiant like the brilliance of the sun, and their eyes burned like lamps of fire. From their mouths came forth flames, and their garments were woven from feathers, glimmering like the golden wings of eagles. They called my name, Enoch, Enoch, and I arose from my slumber, trembling. The men spoke to me, saying, "Be of good cheer, Enoch. Do not be afraid, for the everlasting God has sent us to you. Today you shall ascend with us into heaven." So it came to pass, after speaking to my sons, these divine beings summoned me. Lifting me upon their wings, they placed me upon the clouds, and the clouds began to move, carrying me upward. As I rose, I passed through the air, and as I ascended even higher, I entered the other. They brought me into the first heaven, where I walked in the presence of Elohim. Then Enoch was no longer found, for Elohim had taken me away. In the heavens, surrounded by Elohim, I was shown the secrets of life and death, including the moment when the angels fell from grace. As the children of men multiplied upon the earth, daughters were born among them with striking beauty and grace. The angels, known as the sons of heaven, looked upon these daughters with desire and spoke among themselves, "Come, let us choose wives from among the children of men and bear children with them." However, Samjaza, their leader, voiced his concern. "I fear you will not truly commit to this deed, and I alone will bear the penalty of a great sin." But the angels, resolute in their decision, answered him, "Let us all swear an oath and bind ourselves by mutual agreement, that none shall abandon this plan, but that we shall carry it out together." And so they swore together and sealed their pact with an unbreakable oath. In total, 200 angels descended to earth during the days of Jared, alighting upon the summit of Mount Hermon. They named it Mount Hermon, for there they had sworn and bound themselves by their pact. Among the fallen angels, the leaders were Samlazas, Arakalba, Ramal, Kokablo, Tamlo, Remlo, Danil, Ezekiel, Barakijal, Esael, Armaros, Batarel, Ananel, Zakal, Samsepile, Satarel, Tyrel, Jondal, and Serial, each commanding a division of 10 angels. These fallen angels took wives from among the daughters of men, each choosing one for themselves, and began to defile themselves through their union. They taught their wives charms, enchantments, and the cutting of roots, revealing the secrets of plants. The women became pregnant and bore giants whose height reached 3,000 ells. These giants consumed all the resources of men, and when the earth could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against humanity, devouring them. Their sins grew increasingly heinous. They sinned against the birds, the beasts, the reptiles, and even the fish. Their hunger knew no bounds, and in their insatiable appetite, they devoured one another's flesh and drank the blood of their own kin. The earth, overwhelmed by lawlessness, cried out in agony, accusing these transgressors. Azazel, one of the fallen angels, taught men to forge weapons, swords, knives, shields, and breastplates. He revealed the secrets of metals and the art of working them, and also introduced the crafting of bracelets and ornaments. He taught the use of antimony to beautify the eyelids, the secrets of precious stones, and the art of dyeing garments. Through these teachings, godlessness spread, and immorality increased, leading humanity astray and corrupting their ways. Samjaza instructed them in enchantments and the cutting of roots, while Armeros taught how to dispel enchantments. Barakhijal shared knowledge of astrology. Kokabel revealed the mysteries of the constellations. Ezekiel imparted knowledge of the clouds. Arakiel revealed signs of the earth. Shamsiel taught the signs of the sun. And Sariel unveiled the course of the moon. As the corruption spread, men perished in sin, and their cries rose up to the heavens, pleading for deliverance from the violence and corruption brought upon them by the fallen angels. The judgment of the fallen angels. Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw the devastation and lawlessness ravaging the earth. Their hearts grew heavy with sorrow and anger as they observed the bloodshed that filled the world. They spoke to one another, reflecting on the earth's tragic transformation. The earth, once a place of peace, now cries out with the voices of the afflicted. Their cries reach the gates of heaven. Moved by the pleas of the souls of men, the holy ones of heaven could not ignore the suffering that had spread across the earth. The souls of the dead implored, "Bring our cause before the Most High." The archangels ascended before the Lord of the ages, addressing him with reverence. "O Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, and God of the ages, your throne of glory endures for all generations. Your name is holy, glorious, and blessed forever. You have created all things, and your power reigns over all. Nothing is hidden from your sight. You see everything." The archangels continued, speaking of the corruption caused by the fallen angels. "You have seen what Azazel has done, teaching unrighteousness on earth and revealing eternal secrets meant only for heaven. Sanlazaz, whom you gave authority to lead, has led his companions astray. They have defiled themselves with the daughters of men and taught them all kinds of sin. The women bore giants, and the earth is now filled with blood and unrighteousness. The souls of the dead cry out, their lamentations rising to heaven, never ceasing, because of the lawless deeds wrought upon the earth." The archangels pleaded for the Lord's guidance. "You, who know all things before they come to pass, have seen these events and allowed them to unfold. Yet you have not told us what we should do to stop them." Then the Most High, the Holy and Great One, spoke. He sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, Noah, with a divine message. "Go to Noah and tell him in my name. Hide yourself. Reveal to him that the end is approaching, and the whole earth will be destroyed by a deluge. Instruct him so that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all generations." The Lord then commanded Raphael, "Bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into darkness. Make an opening in the desert of Dudael, and throw him there. Cover him with jagged rocks and darkness, and let him abide there forever. He shall not see the light of day, and on the day of great judgment, he will be cast into the fire." Raphael was also tasked with healing the earth, which had been corrupted by the angels. "Proclaim the healing of the earth, so that the children of men may not perish because of the secrets disclosed by the watchers. The earth has been corrupted by the works of Azazel. To him ascribe all sin." Gabriel was then given a command to act against the offspring of the watchers. "Proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, the children of fornication. Destroy them. Send them to battle each other so that they may destroy one another. They will not live long lives, and no requests they make on behalf of their fathers will be granted. They will hope to live eternally, but each one of them will be denied even 500 years of life." Finally, the Lord spoke to Michael, "Go and bind Samlazes and his associates, who have defiled themselves with women. When their sons have slain one another and witnessed the destruction of their loved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth until the day of their judgment. They will be cast into the abyss of fire, tormented and imprisoned forever. Anyone condemned and destroyed will be bound with them for all generations." The Lord then issued a final command: "Destroy all the spirits of the reprobate and the children of the watchers for their wrongs against mankind. Wipe all evil from the face of the earth, and let every wicked work come to an end. Let the plant of righteousness and truth appear, and it shall bring blessings. The works of righteousness shall be planted in joy, and they will endure forever. The righteous shall live and multiply, bearing thousands of children, and their days will be filled with peace and joy. The earth will be renewed and tilled in righteousness, bringing forth abundance. Desirable trees will be planted, and vines will yield abundant wine. The seed sown will yield 1,000-fold, and each measure of olives will yield 10 presses of oil. The earth will be blessed, and all will live in harmony. The earth shall be cleansed from all oppression, unrighteousness, sin, and godlessness. All uncleanness shall be eradicated from the earth, and the children of men shall become righteous. Every nation shall offer adoration and praise to the Lord, and the earth shall be freed from defilement, sin, punishment, and torment. I will never again send such afflictions upon it, from generation to generation, and forevermore. In those days I will open the storehouses of blessings in heaven, and pour them down upon the earth. Truth and peace shall flourish throughout all the days of the world, enduring across all generations. Before these things came to pass, Enoch was hidden from the children of men. None knew where he was or what had become of him. His activities involved the watchers, and he spent his days with the holy ones. Enoch, blessing the Lord of majesty and the King of the ages, was called by the watchers, who referred to him as Enoch, the scribe of righteousness. They said, "Go, declare to the watchers of heaven who have left the high heaven, the holy eternal place, and defiled themselves with women. Tell them, you have wrought great destruction on the earth, and you shall have no peace nor forgiveness of sin. As you delight in your children, you will witness their murder and destruction. You shall lament over their deaths, and make supplications for eternity. But mercy and peace you shall not attain." Enoch went to Azazel and declared, "Azazel, you shall have no peace. A severe sentence has been pronounced against you. You will be bound and receive no tolerance or request for forgiveness because of the unrighteousness you have taught and the godless deeds you have shown to men." Enoch then spoke to all the watchers. Fear and trembling seized them, and they begged him to draw up a petition for their forgiveness and present it to the Lord of heaven. They could no longer speak with him or lift their eyes to heaven, ashamed of their sins and the condemnation they faced. Enoch wrote their petition and prayer regarding their spirits and deeds, seeking forgiveness and length of days. He went to the waters of Dan in the land of Dan, south of the west of Hermon, where he read their petition until he fell asleep. In his sleep, a dream came to him. Visions of chastisement fell upon him, and a voice commanded him to tell it to the sons of heaven and reprimand them. When Enoch awoke, he found the watchers gathered together, weeping in Apple's jail between Lebanon and Sennacer, their faces covered. He recounted all the visions he had seen in his sleep and began to speak words of righteousness, reprimanding the heavenly watchers. The book of the words of righteousness, a record of the reprimand to the eternal watchers, was given according to the command of the Holy Great One. In a vision, Enoch, with the breath of his mouth and the tongue of flesh, spoke the words bestowed upon him by the Great One, given to men to converse and understand with the heart, as he has created and given man the power of understanding. The word of wisdom, so has he created me and given me the power to reprimand the watchers, the children of heaven. Enoch began, "I wrote out your petition, and in my vision, it appeared that your plea will not be granted unto you. Judgment has been passed upon you, and your petition will not be granted. Henceforth, you shall not ascend into heaven for all eternity. In the bonds of the earth, the decree has gone forth to bind you for all the days of the world. You shall witness the destruction of your beloved sons, and you shall find no pleasure in them. They shall fall before you by the sword. Your petition on their behalf shall not be granted, nor will your own, even though you weep, pray, and speak all the words contained in the writing I have written. In my vision, clouds invited me, and a mist summoned me. The course of the stars and the lightnings hastened me, and the winds caused me to fly, lifting me upward and burying me into heaven. I approached a wall built of crystals, surrounded by tongues of fire, and it began to frighten me. I entered the tongues of fire and drew near to a large house built of crystals, with walls like a tessellated floor made of crystals, and its foundation of crystal. The ceiling of the house before me resembled the path of the stars and the lightnings, and between them were fiery cherubim. The heaven above was made of water, and a blazing fire surrounded the walls, with portals that blazed with fire. As I entered, the house was both hot as fire and cold as ice, offering no delights of life within. Fear covered me, and trembling seized my body. As I quaked and trembled, I fell upon my face. Then I beheld a vision of a second house, greater than the first, with an open portal before me, built entirely of flames. This house excelled in splendor and magnificence, surpassing all in its brilliance. Its floor was made of fire, and above it were lightnings and the path of stars. The ceiling was also of flaming fire. Inside, I saw a lofty throne, its appearance like crystal, with wheels that shone like the sun. Beneath the throne, streams of flaming fire came forth, so intense that I could not bear to look upon it. The great glory sat upon the throne, his raiment shining brighter than the sun, whiter than any snow. None of the angels could enter to behold his face, due to the magnificence and glory surrounding him. No flesh could endure his presence. The flaming fire encircled him, and a great fire stood before him. 10,000 times 10,000 were before him, yet he needed no counselor. The most holy ones, who were near him, never left him, day or night. As I lay prostrate, trembling in awe, the Lord called me by name with his own voice. "Come here, Enoch, and hear my word." One of the holy ones came to me, waking me, and bade me rise up and approach the door. I bowed my face downward, and heard the voice of the Lord. "Fear not, Enoch, righteous man and scribe of righteousness. Approach and hear my voice. Go and say to the watchers of heaven, who have sent you to intercede for them, you should intercede for men, not men for you. Why have you left the high, holy, and eternal heaven to lay with women, defiling yourselves with the daughters of men? You have taken wives and begotten giants as your sons. Though you were once holy, spiritual beings, living eternal life, you have defiled yourselves with the blood of women and begotten children of flesh. You have lusted after flesh and blood, like those who die and perish." The Lord continued, "Therefore, I have given wives to men, so that nothing might be lacking for them on earth. But you, who were once spiritual and immortal, are not appointed wives. For the spiritual beings of heaven dwell in heaven. The giants, born of spirits and flesh, shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, for their spirits are derived from both men and watchers. These evil spirits will afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, and work destruction on the earth, causing trouble. They will hunger and thirst, but take no food, causing offenses. These spirits shall rise against men and women, for they have come from them. Their spirits will destroy without judgment until the day of great consummation, the day of judgment for the watchers and the godless." The Lord then spoke of the watchers who had sent Enoch to intercede for them, telling him to relay this message. "You have been in heaven, but not all the mysteries were revealed to you. You knew worthless ones, and in the hardness of your hearts, you revealed them to women, causing great evil on earth. Therefore, you shall have no peace." Enoch recounted his incredible journey, where the angels had transported him to a realm where those present resembled flaming fire, yet could appear as men at will. The angels led him to a place of profound darkness, to a mountain whose summit touched the heavens. In this mystical place, Enoch saw the locations of the luminaries, the treasures of stars and thunder, and in the deepest depths, a fiery bow and arrows, a quiver, a fiery sword, and all the lightning. They brought Enoch to the living waters and to the fire of the west, where the setting sun disappears every day. He came upon a river of fire, its flames flowing like water, discharging into the great sea towards the west. Enoch saw the great rivers and ventured into the vast darkness, a place where no flesh walks. He saw mountains shrouded in winter's darkness, the source from which all the deep waters flow. Enoch witnessed the mouths of all the rivers on earth, as well as the mouth of the deep. He saw the treasuries of all the winds, and how the Creator had furnished the entire creation with them, grounding the firm foundations of the earth. He observed the cornerstone of the earth, and the four winds that support the firmament of heaven. These winds stretched out the vaults of heaven, with their stations between heaven and earth, acting as the pillars of heaven. Enoch watched the winds of heaven turn, bringing the sun and stars to their settings. He observed the winds on earth, carrying the clouds and guiding the paths of the angels. At the end of the earth, Enoch saw the firmament of heaven above him. He proceeded to a place that burned day and night, where 7 magnificent mountains of stone stood. 3 were towards the east, and 3 towards the south. The mountains towards the east were made of colored stone, pearl, and jasper, while those towards the south were made of redstone. The middle mountain reached to heaven, resembling the throne of God, made of alabaster with a sapphire summit. Beyond these mountains, Enoch saw a flaming fire and a region marking the end of the great earth, where the heavens were complete. He saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire, where columns of fire fell, stretching beyond measure in height and depth. Beyond that abyss was a place without a firmament of heaven above, or a firmly founded earth beneath. It was a desolate and horrible wasteland, without water or birds. In this place, Enoch saw 7 stars, like great burning mountains. Upon inquiring about them, the angel told him, "This is the end of heaven and earth, a prison for the stars and the host of heaven." These stars, which roll over the fire, are those that transgressed the commandment of the Lord at the beginning of their rising, because they did not appear at their appointed times. In his wrath, he bound them until their guilt is consummated for 10,000 years. Uriel further explained, "Here shall stand the fallen angels who have connected themselves with women, their spirits assuming many forms to defile mankind, leading them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. They shall remain here until the day of the great judgment, where they shall be judged until they meet their end. The women of the angels who went astray shall become sirens." Enoch alone saw this vision, witnessing the ends of all things, a sight no other man has seen. He continued his journey with the holy angels, who revealed to him the mysteries of the universe. He was introduced to the celestial guardians who watch over mankind. Enoch continued his journey, and the holy angels revealed to him the mysteries of the cosmos. These are the names of the holy angels. Enoch began. Uriel, who presides over the world and Tartarus. Raphael, who oversees the spirits of men. Regel, who exacts vengeance on the world of the luminaries. Michael, who is set over the best part of mankind and over chaos. Seraphil, who is set over the spirits who sin in the spirit. Gabriel, who guards paradise, the serpents and the cherubim. Remiel, who is appointed over those who rise. Enoch was then taken to a place of chaos, devoid of heaven above or a firmly founded earth below. It was a realm of disorder and horror, where the order of the world seemed undone. There, Enoch saw 7 stars of heaven bound together, burning like great mountains. Enoch, filled with curiosity, asked, "For what sin are they bound, and why have they been cast here?" Uriel, one of the holy angels and chief among them, responded, "Enoch, why do you seek the truth with such eagerness? These are the stars of heaven that transgress the commandment of the Lord. They are bound here for 10,000 years, the time appointed for their sins to be fulfilled." From there, Enoch was led to another place, even more terrifying. He saw a great fire burning and blazing. The place was cleft as far as the abyss, filled with great descending columns of fire. Its extent and magnitude were beyond measure. Enoch exclaimed, "How fearful is this place, and how terrible to behold." Uriel reassured him, "This is the prison of the fallen angels, and here they will be imprisoned forever." Enoch then proceeded to another place, a mountain of hard rock. Within it were 4 hollow, deep, wide, and smooth places. Raphael explained, "These hollow places have been created for this very purpose, to gather the spirits of the souls of the dead until the day of their judgment. All the souls of the children of men assemble here, and these places receive them until their appointed period, the great judgment." Enoch saw a dead man making suit, his voice ascending to heaven. He asked Raphael, "Whose spirit is this making suit to heaven?" Raphael answered, "This is the spirit of Abel, whom his brother Cain slew. He makes his suit against Cain until his seed is destroyed from the earth." Enoch inquired about the separation of the hollow places. Raphael explained, "These divisions are for the spirits of the dead. One is for the righteous, with a bright spring of water. One is for sinners, who die without judgment in their lifetime, where their spirits are in great pain until the day of judgment. Another is for those who make their suit, disclosing their destruction when slain in the days of sinners. Another is for the spirits of those who were not righteous, but were sinners and transgressors. Their spirits shall not be slain on the day of judgment, nor shall they be raised." From there, Enoch blessed the Lord of glory, saying, "Blessed be my Lord, the Lord of righteousness, who rules forever." He then journeyed to the west, to the ends of the earth, where he saw a burning fire running without rest, day and night. Enoch asked, "What is this fire that never rests?" Raguel, one of the holy angels, explained, "This is the fire in the west that persecutes all the luminaries of heaven." Enoch continued to another part of the earth, where he saw a mountain range of fire, burning day and night. Beyond it, he saw 7 magnificent mountains, each unique and beautiful with glorious stones. The 7th mountain in the midst of them was the highest, resembling the seat of a throne, encircled by fragrant trees. Among these trees was one unlike any other, with a fragrance surpassing all. Its leaves, blooms, and wood never withered, and its fruit was beautiful, resembling the dates of a palm. Enoch marveled, "How beautiful is this tree, its fragrance, and its delightful appearance." Michael, one of the honored angels, responded, "This high mountain, whose summit is like the throne of God, is where the Holy Great One, the Lord of glory, the eternal King, will sit when he comes down to visit the earth with goodness. As for this fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it until the great judgment, when it shall be given to the righteous and holy. Its fruit will be food for the elect. It shall be transplanted to the holy place, to the temple of the Lord, the eternal King. They shall rejoice with joy and be glad, and enter into the holy place. Its fragrance shall be in their bones, and they shall live long lives on earth, free from sorrow, plague, torment, or calamity." Michael continued, unveiling the future glory and blessings that would come with the righteous being rewarded in the presence of the Lord. Enoch blessed the God of glory, the eternal King, who had prepared such wondrous things for the righteous and promised them eternal peace. He then journeyed to the middle of the earth, to a blessed place filled with blooming trees. There, he saw a holy mountain with a stream flowing towards the south. Another higher mountain stood to the east, with a deep, narrow ravine between them. Enoch marveled at the sight, but Uriel, one of the holy angels, explained, "This accursed valley is for those cursed forever. Here shall all who utter unseemly words against the Lord and his glory be gathered for judgment. But the righteous shall bless the Lord of glory, the eternal King, for the mercy he has shown them." Enoch continued to bless the Lord of glory, proclaiming his greatness. He then journeyed to a wilderness in the east, filled with aromatic trees that exhaled the fragrances of frankincense and myrrh, resembling almond trees. Beyond these, he found a valley of water with fragrant trees, like the mastic cinnamon on its sides. Continuing eastward, Enoch encountered more mountains, with groves of trees flowing with nectar, named Sarara and Galbanum. Another mountain, east of the ends of the earth, bore aloe trees with a sweet fragrance, especially when burnt. He saw 7 mountains to the north, full of choice nard, cinnamon, and pepper. Passing over their summits, Enoch reached the garden of righteousness, filled with numerous beautiful and glorious trees, including the tree of knowledge. Raphael explained, "This is the tree of wisdom, from which your forebears learned wisdom, opened their eyes, knew they were naked, and were driven out of the garden." Enoch continued his journey to the ends of the earth, where great beasts and birds of various appearances and voices dwelled. He saw the portals of heaven, noting their number, outlets, courses, positions, times, and months, as shown by Uriel. Enoch traveled further north and saw a great and glorious device at the ends of the earth, with 3 open portals of heaven through which cold winds brought hail, frost, snow, dew, and rain. Similar portals existed in the west and south, each with its own purpose. Returning to the east, Enoch saw 3 eastern portals of heaven, with smaller portals above them, through which the stars passed on their course. Enoch blessed the Lord of glory for the great and glorious wonders shown to him, praising his work and creation forever. He spoke his words of blessing to the elect and righteous, those destined to live through the days of tribulation, when the wicked and godless will be removed. Enoch saw a vision of the Holy One in the heavens, revealed to him by the angels. From them, he gained understanding, not for his generation, but for a future one yet to come. Enoch continued his parable, saying, "The Holy Great One will come forth from his dwelling. The eternal God will tread upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai, and will appear in the strength of his might from the heaven of heavens. All shall be struck with fear, and the watchers shall quake. Great fear and trembling will seize them unto the ends of the earth. The high mountains shall be shaken, and the high hills shall be made low. They shall melt like wax before the flame. The earth shall be wholly rent asunder, and all that is upon it shall perish. There shall be judgment upon all, but with the righteous he will make peace. He will protect the elect, and mercy shall be upon them. They shall all belong to God, be prosperous, and be blessed. He will help them all, and light shall appear unto them." Thus, Enoch, a righteous man whose eyes were opened by God, prophesied the future days of tribulation and the eventual judgment of the wicked, while proclaiming the peace and blessings that would be given to the righteous. Observe how the earth is filled with water, how the clouds gather and release rain, nourishing the land through both summer and winter. In the cold of winter, witness how most trees appear to wither and shed their leaves, except for 14 trees that retain their foliage for 2 to 3 years, until new leaves sprout again in the days of summer. See how the sun stands high above the earth, compelling you to seek shade and shelter from its scorching heat, as the earth and rocks absorb its growing warmth. Notice how the trees clothe themselves in green leaves and bear fruit in due season. Pay attention and reflect upon all his works, recognizing that he who lives forever has created them in his divine order. All of his works continue from year to year, and the tasks assigned to them remain unchanged, proceeding exactly as God has ordained. Behold how the seas and rivers also follow his commands, never deviating from their purpose. Yet unlike them, you have not remained steadfast, nor have you kept the commandments of the Lord. Instead, you have turned away, speaking proud and harsh words against his greatness with impure mouths. O hard-hearted ones, you shall find no peace. Because of your ways, you shall curse your days, and the years of your life shall perish. The years of your destruction shall multiply in eternal abomination, and in those days you shall find no mercy. Your names shall become an eternal curse among all the righteous, and all who utter curses will do so in reference to you. All sinners and the godless shall invoke your name as a symbol of condemnation, for there shall be a curse upon the wicked. But the righteous shall rejoice, for forgiveness of sins and abundant mercy shall be granted to them. Peace and patience shall be their reward, and salvation shall come to them as a divine light. For all sinners, however, there shall be no salvation. Instead, upon them shall rest the curse of the beast. For the elect there shall be light, joy, and peace, and they shall inherit the earth. Wisdom shall be bestowed upon them, and they shall live without sin, neither through ungodliness nor through pride. The wise shall be humble, and they shall not transgress, nor fall into sin all the days of their lives. They shall not perish in anger or wrath, but shall complete their appointed days in peace. Their lives shall flourish in tranquility, and the years of their joy shall multiply in eternal gladness and harmony, all the days of their existence. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and share it with your friends and family who might be interested in the topic. See you in the next video.